Hello and good evening and welcome to our Hispanic Heritage Month 2020 Estamos, Unidos series presented by GPS Strategic Solutions. I'm the owner and founder of GPS Strategic Solutions, and I'm very excited to welcome my very special guests this evening. I'm excited to welcome the founders of Johnson County Latina Leadership Network. Mary Estrada, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. And I would like to also extend a warm invitation to Mary Lou Jaramillo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening and welcome. I'd like to go ahead and kick off our conversation. But before we do, I just want to thank our audience who is joining us. So if you are joining us this evening, please feel free to drop a comment in the chat box. And if you have any questions while we are having our conversation, we welcome those as well. So please let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you have any questions during our conversation, please be sure to drop those in the comments. And if you are sharing this Estamos Unidos conversation on social media, would greatly appreciate it if you could include the hashtag Estamos Unidos. So with that, let's go ahead and kick things off this evening with our Hispanic Heritage Month Estamos Unidos series, presented by GPS Strategic Solutions. So I'm going to go ahead and start by reading Mary Estrada's bio. Mary Estrada has a Bachelor of Business Administration degree from Baker University, and she has worked in the mortgage banking industry with various banks and mortgage companies through her retirement. And throughout the years, Mary has also volunteered for Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, PTAs, and booster clubs. She is currently a member of the League of Women Voters of Johnson County, and she has served on various boards and is currently a board member of the AIDS Service Foundation of Kansas City, and also serves on the Community Development Block Grant Advisory Committee for Overland Park, Kansas. Mary was honored with the Greater Kansas City Hispanic Chamber's Humanitarian of the Year in 2009. And in 2018, she was recognized by the Kansas Hispanic and Latino American Affairs Commission, KLAC, as a community champion. We are so excited to have you here this evening and are looking forward to hearing more from you, Mary. That is a impressive bio, and just really grateful for everything that you do for the community. Really appreciate that. And now I'd like to go ahead and introduce Mary Lou Jaramillo. Before I do, I just want to thank our guest, Michelle, who's tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Michelle. Ms. Jaramillo has held leadership roles at El Centro, the Hispanic Economic Development Corporation, and the Mattie Rhodes Center. And she's also served in various consulting roles with Olathe civic members to develop initiatives to help Olathe become a more welcoming community for all Latinos. And prior to these roles, Mary Lou was an executive assistant for the Minority Supplier Development Council. And in these roles, she's worked with associates, board members, and community volunteers to develop programs for underserved communities, addressing health and mental health care, early childhood education, business development, arts and culture, and civic engagement. Mary Lou was a founding board member of the Health Forward Foundation, a foundation that works to transform communities so that everyone has an opportunity for better health care. And Mary Lou earned her Master's of Public Administration in Nonprofit Leadership from Park University, as well as a Bachelor of Business in Management from Park University. Community service is very important to Mary Lou, And so she credits her parents and family for modeling acts of kindness, integrity, perseverance, and optimism, especially within the Latino community of Topeka, Kansas. Her sons, Miguel and Carlos Jaramillo, are the anchors in her life. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us this evening. I'm just so honored to know both of you and just really excited to learn more about Johnson County Latina Leadership Network for our audience this evening. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into our conversation. So our first question for this evening is, and feel free to hop in, either of you, if you want to answer the question. The first question this evening is, why did both of you decide to establish the Johnson County Latina Leadership Network in 2015?
Well, I'll begin. Mary and I have been friends for a very long time. We were members of a Latina nonprofit organization in Kansas City for many years, and we were engaged in civic activities. So 5 years ago, I moved to Johnson County from Kansas City, Missouri. So I'm Johnson County, Kansas. And for me, it was about establishing networks with other Latinas to promote civic engagement and leadership development. And Mary and I have had these conversations for years prior to launching the Latina Leadership Network.
Mary, is there anything that you wanted to add?
I don't know.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our next question. So during Hispanic Heritage Month 2020 and beyond, why is it important to be civically engaged?
I wonder if Mary is having difficulty. Looks like her video is frozen.
So I'm getting a lot of, I don't know if it's my line.
Are you having some disturbance? Mary, do you want to try and hop back on again? We're going to go ahead and give Mary just a moment to hop back on. I think she was having a little bit of a disturbance, so we'll go ahead. But in the meantime, for our audience, if you are tuning in, we would love for you to drop some of your questions for Mary Estrada and Mary Lou Jaramillo, who are joining us from the Johnson County Latina Leadership Network. And so I guess in the meantime, I will talk a little bit about GPS strategic solutions while we wait for Mary. So I am a small business owner, and I am looking to help small businesses and as well as nonprofit clients with their digital marketing services, how to be able to interpret their data insights, and then also looking for opportunities to collaborate for influencer campaigns. So if you are a small business or a nonprofit that is looking to team up together, I would love to talk to you. I am going to have my website in the comments in the video description. So feel free to reach out and we can set up a discovery call. So just want to share a little bit about GPS strategic solutions. All right, so Mary's back.
Okay.
There she is.
Hi, Mary, can you hear us a little bit better?
This is better. I'm
Perfect.
on an iPad now. Hopefully
Perfect,
it'll be
perfect.
okay.
That sounds good. What I went ahead and did was just had a little commercial while we were waiting for you to tune back in.
Okay.
So just I'll go ahead and ask the question. Why is it so important to be civically engaged?
My thing is, when I go places and I'm the only brown face, I feel like I think there's others that would be willing to participate. Maybe they don't know about these things. Um, so it's just nice to be able to see a little bit of diversity. I mean, and I think organizations are wanting it. So by us inviting others, by having this organization and letting them know about the different things that are going on, maybe it'll spark their interest. And we have seen an interest in that. And so we do have a few more women that have come up and belong to different organizations or on different boards, attend different trainings. So I think, sometimes not knowing about it, they never did anything before, but now that we tell them these are the things that are going on, they're participating. I'm happy with the participation that we've gotten.
Yeah. So unlike our neighboring communities such as Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri, the Latino Latinx population in Johnson County is a smaller portion of the general population. However, we're growing quickly, and it's very important to let civic leaders, elected officials, know that we are residents in this large county with 22 municipalities. If they don't hear from us or see us, then we don't matter. And so it is important to be civically engaged. This is an election year, but for me, every year is an election year, and we should care deeply about school board elections, about city council elections, about county elections, and of course at the state level and national level. But decisions are made every week. City council meetings across this county about that may affect our everyday lives. That's why we should be civically engaged.
Thank you, Mary Lou. And we did have a question that did come in from Michelle. Her question is, what kind of events or projects seem to draw the most interest in the Kansas City area?
If she could clarify what she might be looking for, we're not a monolithic group of people. And so there are Latinos, Latinx folks that are fourth generation to newcomers. We have folks that represent the diversity of the Latino, Latin America, Mexico, Central America regions. So it's difficult to answer that question. What kind of events or projects seem to draw the most interest in the Kansas City area? I think people can get heated up about decisions made by school boards that affect the education of their children. That would be primary for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think families are going to think of their children first. And so whether it's through their education, the school board, the school lunches, those transportation, those are the things that they're concerned about first. Yeah. Medical for their children. So I think anything that has to deal with those, even their teachers, go meet your teachers, go to the PTA meetings and see what's going on. Make sure that a lot of the curriculum is easy for them to understand, I guess, or that they have the help that they need if they're a little slow on reading, what is being provided by the school district for these children.
Right. And I know, Mary, with your experience with the PTA with your children, I know that is something that firsthand you've been able to observe. So I know that you've been able to, just speak from real life experience.
And I guess one thing I always felt like, if you don't like it, then go in there and find out why. Be a
Right.
participant. Because if they don't hear from you, how are they going to know? And if you don't want to go by yourself, bring somebody with you. The more the better. If there's more brown faces, great. You know, I mean, it
Definitely.
could be something as simple as, and I don't know whether they do this or not, school notices going out in English and Spanish, you know, so
Mhm.
that make sure that everybody is being heard, getting the information.
Definitely, definitely. I think that's really good. So, Michelle, let us know if that helps answer your question or if you want us to go into more detail. So the next question that I have for you ladies is, what have been some of the most interesting things that both of you have observed while overseeing this membership group?
Well, I would say the diversity of the Latinas who want to be part of this group. We are a network. We're not an organization. And the diversity includes business owners, teachers, principals, librarians, and the diversity also includes Latinas from Central South America, as well as um, um, Latinas of Mexican heritage or Puerto Rican. So it's that has been striking. I have seen the difference. So that's one of those pleasant surprises. Yeah.
And what's good about this, when we do have our gatherings, I mean, they don't have to know one another, but they'll just go start talking to them and really network, which is what we want them to do, which is fun. So that's one of the things I enjoy about it. And all different ages, from probably in their 30s all the way up to 70s. So, um, and majority of them are bilingual, so that's great. They start talking in their native language, and they enjoy that. So,
Great, wonderful. That's so good to hear that. So my next question is, so now both of you are retired from professional work. What are some tips that you could share with our audience on how we can encourage other Latinas like ourselves to balance home life, professional life, and leadership?
Well, we are trying to, when I was working, I was trying to balance several things. Children, um, my my responsibilities with work, um, and I was also pursuing my master's degree, so I too was in school. Um, and my siblings, and at that time my parents were living in Topeka, which is an hour drive. So there are multiple things, plus my friends that I wanted to continue having a relationship with. So what I found was that I learned to ask for help, um, primarily from my network of Latinas. And so don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to um, go out of your way to meet other people who may have a different background, who may be in a different profession. Um, just start taking risks and getting to know others.
I know that when my kids were young, that's why I was their Girl Scout leader, because I could still be with them. And they were learning, and I was learning at the same time. And as they got older, that's when I was in the booster clubs, because this way we kind of, I was helping their band with raising funds and stuff. So, but one thing I think is be, in a sense, selfish. Do something what's your passion and get involved in that. At least find out maybe if any organization that you're interested in, I've been to a couple of organizations, and after a couple of meetings, it's like, no, this isn't what I want. So, either volunteer for them or attend a couple of the meetings. See what they are, what's on their website may not be what they actually are when you get together in a group. So, just make sure, and then just don't overload yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to say no. I'm already on one board and I'm on 2 committees, and now I'm on this one, and I just, I have to spend time with even if you don't have children, your spouse, with your friends. So yes, just kind of watch it, and make sure what you do is enjoyable. So because I've enjoyed every board I've been on, every organization. Sometimes if they like you so much on any organization, then they'll ask you to be on the board. So, but that's great because they're trying to be more inclusive.
Definitely. I think for my own experience, because I do juggle a lot myself, is I think that if you're interested in getting involved, is to ask a lot of questions up front, just because one of the worst things you could do is overcommit and then not deliver. So it's better to ask the questions up front, especially when you're trying to, for time management purposes. So it's good to ask those questions up front, because later on you don't want to say yes and then you have overcommitted to something and then your plate becomes very full, and we all know how the juggle is real, so we can only juggle that full plate for so long. So I think it's really important to ask those questions up front, and I've definitely learned from experience. So anytime I join something new, I ask a lot of questions up front. So I audience as well, who are thinking about, okay, maybe I want to get into some kind of leadership. I think another thing I want to add is I've been able to complement and even build on my skills that I wasn't using in previous jobs. So that's another benefit of being part of a board or part of a committee. You really get to flex muscles you didn't know you had. And so that's how I've kind of built my career. And so I really that if there are some skills that you want to hone, joining a board or being part of a committee is a great opportunity. And then you're giving back, and they can always be a reference for you.
Exactly.
So,
and you expand your network.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just going to say, I wanted to just share how much I appreciate both of you women being in my network, because the meetings that I've been able to attend, I hope to attend more, in the future, in person when, 2021 is here. Maybe that opportunity may present itself. I know we're doing virtual right now, and I would at least like to see you rather than not see you. So we can take what we can get. We just make the best of it. But just want to thank you both so much for just being part of my network, because I've really looked at what both of you have done in the community, and it really drives me as a Latina myself.
One thing I want to say is we started off with Mary Lou and I started this with women that we knew. And we started off with about 20, and we now probably have about 100 on our email list. They may not be all active, but they also don't tell me to take them off the list. So I think that they, do kind of keep track of us sometimes. And through our various gatherings, we've had people from the county come in and talk to the people, to the ladies. We've had legislatures, we've had past legislatures or politicians come in and talk to them. So I think it gives them a broad view of different things that they can get involved in. So, and a lot of them have become more involved in different things within their city or county. So I think that's good.
Yeah. Perfect. So with that, if we have Latinas that are in Johnson County, Kansas, that would like to get involved, if they've recently moved or, just different circumstances have brought them to Kansas, how can they find you?
They can find us on Facebook, Johnson County Latina Leadership Network, they will need to request to become a member. We will then ask them, we want to know what city in Johnson County they reside in. And we want their email so that we can communicate with them when we're not doing Facebook.
Perfect, wonderful. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience this evening?
And I don't know, who will be looking at this, but what we're doing, anybody can do, whether it's in any other city, any other county. It doesn't. We're just women that get together that we invite, and we've narrowed it to Latina women in Johnson County, but anyone can do it.
Yeah, and the information and opportunities that we push out to the network include growth opportunities, leadership opportunities, opportunities to meet decision makers in our county. And we hope that they take advantage of those opportunities. For instance, the Johnson County Citizens Academy was started about 3 or 4 years ago. Several of our members of our network, it's an application process. We're selected to go through that academy. The Kansas Leadership Center, based in Wichita, is really seeking our participation in their leadership courses. We have had opportunities to provide scholarships for members in our network to attend, and I think 8 or 10 of our network members have participated in those courses. So, those are examples of opportunities that are available by being part of this network. Yeah.
And Michelle says that's a great message. Anyone can do it.
Yes.
Yes.
You just have to make sure you get along with your partner. What we do. We can bounce things off each other and say whether we like them or not, or we can switch them around. But you know what? That's it. We work together. We each kind of have our little spot. So, and that's what makes it fun. I mean, that's why we're still doing this after 6 years now, 5 years. So we just wish we could get some younger folks involved and take our place.
Yes, that's what we want. we want to work our way out of this. And we really do have a fine group of Latinas, Latinx involved. They have careers, they have families, they are on some boards and commissions. So, I think I can speak for both Mary and myself. We're happy to do this for now, but we're looking for pass the baton, share the batons. Doesn't matter. Okay,
that's good to know. So we want our audience to know this is a great opportunity if you're looking for some leadership. This is a great, this is a wonderful opportunity, and you have two mujeres maravillosas to give you a lot of knowledge and experience. So they would definitely not just hand the baton without not giving you good information and good insights to keep the torch lit and keep moving forward.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Priscilla.
Well, I want to thank the founders of Johnson County Latina Leadership Network, Mary Estrada and Mary Lou Jaramillo. I just really want to thank you so much for your time this evening. And as we continue to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, I just want to make sure that we know that the theme that I have chosen was a theme of unity, and that's what Estamos, Unidos represents. So this is about uniting together because we are always better together. So I want to thank those of you who attended this evening. And if you would like to watch the replay, this will be available shortly. And as I mentioned earlier in our conversation, if you are interested in teaming up for digital marketing services or data insights or collaborations for influencer campaigns, I am going to have my GPS Strategic Solutions website in the video description. So we'd definitely love to team up with you for future opportunities. So I just want to thank Mary and Mary Lou this evening so much for joining us. And just wanted to give a heads up for next week's conversation. We will be chatting with Susana Bauman, and she is the president, CEO, and editor-in-chief of Latinas in Business, and she is based out of New Jersey. So we will be chatting next week at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we'd love to have you with us if you can join us live. And if you can't join us live, we'd love for you to watch the replay. So everybody have a good evening, and everybody stay well and take care. And thank you all so much for joining us this evening on Hispanic Heritage Month, Estamos, Unidos, presented by GPS Strategic Solutions. Have a good evening, everybody, and thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night.